In this video, we'd like to discuss about maintenance under the traditional Islamic law. So, regarding the maintenance, the Muslim husband's obligation to maintain his wife arises in the following two circumstances. On the first one, on account of status arising out of a valid marriage, and the second one on account of pre-marriage agreement entered into between the parties to the marriage or between the parents in case both the parties or one of them is a minor. So, according to the Hidayah, the traditional source of Muslim law, a Muslim husband is bound to maintain his wife even if she is rich or has means of her, and notwithstanding that the husband is without any means. In the words of Professor Sachet, the maintenance of the wife comprises food, clothing, and lodging. For example, a separate house or at least a separate room for the well to do. Also, a servant, she is not obliged to bear any part of the expenses of matrimonial establishment. Under Muslim law, wife's right of maintenance is a debt against the husband and has priority over the right of all other persons to receive maintenance. A Muslim husband is bound to maintain his wife of a valid or sahih marriage and not the wife of a void or irregular marriage. According to Professor Bailey, it is immaterial that the wife is rich or poor, Muslim or non Muslim, young or old, enjoyed or unenjoyed. In the words of Professor Tayabji, the wife has also the right to place the credit of her husband for providing herself with maintenance. So, a wife cannot release her right of maintenance except after it has become due. It applies to each of the wives where a person has more than one wife. Under the Hanafi law, when maintenance becomes due, it is payable in monthly installment unless the court otherwise directs. Among the Shihas, it is payable on daily basis. So, regarding maintenance under traditional Islamic law, we have discussed the following conditions provided under the traditional Islamic law. And now we'll examine about the provisions of maintenance as provided under the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act, and that was enacted in 1986. So, while discussing the various provisions of the Act, we would like to make a brief statement of the provisions of maintenance under the Act, and that brief statement we'd like to discuss under 7 steps. So, among the 7 steps, the first one, a divorced woman is entitled to have a reasonable and fair provision and maintenance from her former husband, and the husband must do so within the period of iddat, and his obligation is not confined to the period of iddat only. Secondly, if she fails to get maintenance from her husband, she can claim it from her relatives and the work board. And thirdly, an application of divorced wife under section 3 subsection 2 can be disposed of under the provisions of section 125 to section 128 of Criminal Procedure Code of the parties so desire. Fourthly, applications pending under section 125 of Criminal Procedure Code are required to be disposed under section 7 of the Act of 1986. And the fifth one, there is no provision in the Act which nullifies orders passed under section 125 of CRPC and does not take away any vested rights of the Muslim women as expressed by the Punjab and Haryana High Court in the case of Hajra versus Abdul Rahman in 1989. And the sixth one that we have to discuss regarding those 7 steps which we put under the brief statement. And the sixth one, the provision is made under the Act and the rules framed thereunder for the expeditious disposal of applications and hearing should be continued from day to day. And the seventh one, or the last one, that is all obligations of maintenance and with her remarriage. So once a divorced Muslim wife remarry, then the very obligation of maintenance by the husband to the wife ended. So, in our next provision, we would like to discuss about divorced woman, how it is defined under section 2, subsection A. So, section 2, subsection A of the 1986 Act of the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act 1986 defines a divorced woman to mean a Muslim woman who was married according to Muslim law and has been divorced or has obtained divorce from her husband in accordance with Muslim law. So, this is how the Act defined a divorced woman under Section 2, subsection A, and Section 2, subsection B. It defined about what is iddat period. So, under this Section 2, subsection B of the Act, iddat period is defined as in respect of the divorced women as 3 menstrual course after the date of divorce if she is subject to menstruation. And secondly, if she is not subject to menstruation, then the period of iddat is 3 lunar months after divorce. And thirdly, if she is pregnant at the time of divorce, the period between the divorce and delivery of the child or the termination of pregnancy, whichever is earlier, would be considered as iddat period. So, these are the provisions of Section 2, subsection A, which defined who exactly a divorced women, and under subsection B of Section 2, what exactly is that period, and that is that period in respect to a divorced woman who is under the period of menstruation and who is not coming within the period of menstruation. So, exactly the very period of menstruation, and that also subject to observe 3 lunar months or 3 menstruational courses, that is being prescribed under Section 2, subsection B of Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act 1986.